Hey there, Afsaneh. So let's see what's going on here with your latest essays. Okay, green energy, energy security. Let's see what you wrote. Green energy has been using more and more in both developed and developed countries recently. It is argued by some that it is a cost-benefit and environmentally useful trend, while others opine that it has a noticeable danger for energy security. I personally support the first group, and this article discusses both views via some examples and evidence. Okay, so let's clean up some of the grammar. Green energy has been green energy is being used more and more in both developed and developing countries. Then you said it is a cost-beneficial and environmentally useful trend, and that's okay. I don't know if it's necessarily an article. I would call this an essay. You support the first group, that it's cost-beneficial and environmentally friendly. Okay. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that green energy, get rid of the, like solar, nuclear, and wind energies, is not only environmentally friendly, but also cost-beneficial. Why don't you just say cost-effective? That's a more accurate way of saying this. The central reason for this is that this kind of energy emits less CO2 than fossil fuel energy. The less CO2 emission equals to, okay, how about this? The less carbon dioxide emission, comma, the less the greenhouse effect becomes, and the potential for ozone layer preservation, which protects human beings from harmful atmospheric waves. Okay, so how about this again? Let's try it one more time. The less CO2 emissions, comma, the less the greenhouse effect, and the more ozone layer preservation we have, which protects humans from harmful atmospheric waves. I'm happy with that. Secondly, although the extraction of this kind of energy is costly, it will compensate by decreasing the money spent on the detriments of fossil fuels pollution. To illustrate, you don't have to say to be illustrated, to illustrate, the data released by World Health Organization showed that the number of hospitalizations and skin cancers and the related costs decreased since the time of setting up solar system. No, you don't set up the solar system as the main source of energy. You're using solar panels. Okay, since, let's fix this. So decreased since solar panels were set up as the main source of energy in Kish Island. Therefore, it is conclusively obvious that green energies have great advantages. Okay. On the other hand, some argue that using natural energy may endanger energy security. No, the production of this sort of energy is significantly complicated and needs modern technology and monitoring. Without taking into account the appropriate safety rules, terrible events may happen. The opponents present the example of Fukushima nuclear accident that caused nuclear pollution with great harm and adverse effects. Thus, green energy may have downsides as well that should be considered. By the way, nuclear energy it's like a gray area. It is, and yet it's not considered green energy. So when I think of energy security, I don't necessarily think of nuclear power. I think more of the fact that these energy sources are dependent on the weather means that they are not 100% reliable. Okay, so if you have a very sunny place that relies on solar power and you have like 2 weeks, 3 weeks of rain, perhaps it will not have enough energy. So this is really what we mean in terms of energy security. Let's see. Okay, moving on. From the arguments and examples given, I believe that green energy is gifted by nature to us. Okay. It is predicted that its usage will increasingly grow in the near future. Okay, it's a little brief, but it's fine. It's all right. So, okay, that's all you wrote. I think I've given you considerable feedback on these areas. I mean, you developed it fine. This one specifically. This one, not so much. And I'll tell you, look at the length of your paragraphs. This is considerably shorter than this paragraph. So I felt like you could have done more with this. Perhaps you just needed to rethink how you were approaching this paragraph about energy security. The other thing that I want to talk about is the order of your paragraphs. You were in favor of it being cost efficient and an environmentally useful trend. That's the paragraph. This is the paragraph where you discussed all of that. So this is where you really should have put this. This is why you should have put this paragraph second. It should have been closer to conclusion, and you should have put this paragraph closer to the introduction. You should have reversed them, essentially. Okay? So those are some other things, and that would affect your coherence and cohesion score since it shows how well you order your paragraphs. So that's pretty much what I want to talk about. Let's take a look at your task 1. Okay, so now we go on to your map of the island prior to and after development. Let's see what you wrote. The two maps presented here illustrate an island in the past and present with the changes happened. No. Let's try it again. The two maps presented here illustrate an island both before and after there was construction on the island. That's fine. To begin, this island did not have any accommodation before, while 3 different residential areas were built in the island afterward. One in the east part including some similar villas located in a circular pattern, the other in the west part of the island with same villas in a linear distribution. Between these 2 residential areas, a few high-rise buildings were constructed in the center of the island, which were devoted to the hospital. Awkward. Center of the island to serve as a hospital, restaurant, and mail office. The building of these structures was accompanied with the cutting of trees with no H on the land. Continuing, in the east shore of the island, east shore, okay, here, a lake was designed with inward bulging of the sea border. Well, it's a little weird sounding in English. So, a lake was designed. You could have said feeding into the sea. That's okay. In addition, numerous footpaths and vehicle tracks were also developed to ease commuting among various accommodations and public buildings in the center of the island. Don't forget your thes. A pier was also constructed in the south part of the island for docking of the boats transferring passengers. Okay, that's good. Where is your overview, Afsaneh? So you tell me what happened here, and then I see absolutely no overview here. So where is that generic, where is the statement that shows the main trend that something like before construction occurred, the island was desolate and uninhabitable, whereas after construction, infrastructure was created to make it a lovely holiday destination. Okay, that's an overview here, but I didn't see that. And so that's going to really cost you points, especially in task achievement. When you don't have an overview, I think we know how important it is and how it can affect your score. So that's going to be a problem. There were some areas that were awkward. I had to fix them. I think I spent a considerable amount of time doing that. The good news is that you included everything. So all the details regarding the accommodation, the pier, the lake, all that was fine. It's just the expression of those elements was awkward. But for me, the biggest problem is that you didn't have an overview. Yes. Okay, so go ahead and correct them. Do we have any more essays with you? I'm not quite sure. I thought that you were done with your pack, although I thought you said something in your email that you were interested in continuing. I hope you will consider this. I hope you will continue to send us essays so we can give you our feedback. I hope you're finding it helpful. I'd like to see you work a little more with us right up to your exam. So see how you can sign up for more essays. I wish you lots of luck, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of your essays.